Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today's a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is August the 23rd. It's a Friday. It is National Sponge Cake Day. Let that soak in. It is also Black Ribbon Day. It is Buttered Corn Day. Oh, that one's the one I'm going to celebrate right there. It is Find Your Inner Nerd Day, which I celebrate a lot. Hug Your Sweetheart Day, which I need to celebrate more, don't I?
You don't hardly ever give me hugs.
I should hug you more. I will come over and give you a hug right now. It's National Boys Hug Girls Day. I'm a boy.
Okay.
You're a girl.
Yes,
Let's do this.
I am. Last I checked.
It is National Cuban Sandwich Day today, and it is also Health Unit Coordinators Day today. So I don't know what that means, but the reason I wanted to bring up Health Unit Coordinators is because I'm also speaking with Moon Unit Zappa. Yeah, not related at all, but I just thought that was kind of cool. Frank Zappa has 2 kids, and Moon Unit is his daughter. And I'm going to be chatting with her about a new book that she put out.
Okay.
So I'm excited to learn a little more. She seems like a neat lady, and we'll be chatting with her coming up in a bit.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. The key to unlocking your best self might not be hidden in a gym membership or a self-help book, but it could be in that adorable 4-legged panting furball who begs for scraps at dinner time. A poll of 2,000 dog owners found that 39% credit their dog with improving their emotional health. 25% report enhancements in their mental and physical health. How is it possible? Well, dog owners say the secret lies in their uncanny ability to comfort us when we're down. What do you think, Heidi?
Oh, absolutely.
Also, to stand by us through stressful times and lend an ear when we need to vent. 81% report increased activity levels as a result of being a puppy parent. 49% admit their furry friend is often the sole reason that they get any exercise at all. Our dogs would love to go for more walks.
Oh, yeah,
we need
they
to make
would.
more time to do that. So we should just say, starting today, we're going to do that.
I just love dogs.
Yeah.
And they love you 100% no matter what.
They love you more when you have treats, I've noticed.
Yes, they do.
Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that hares are born with fur and they can see, but rabbits are born naked and they're blind? So that's why they call them hares, because they're born with hair. So rabbits are born naked and hares are born with fur. So that's how you can remember the two.
Okay.
But it's also interesting that they're born with vision and bunny rabbits are born blind. So I don't know why that is, but there we go. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com. Aaron Taylor Johnson is in no mood to make friends in the new trailer for Kraven the Hunter. The first new footage from the upcoming film in over a year sees Taylor Johnson, Kraven is the character's name, kicking some tush and taking some names. Some gruesome ways, too. So this is quite a gory film from the sounds of it. Kraven the Hunter. So I've got a link to the trailer if you want to see it. And Full House fans are in for a treat. Some of the stars of the beloved sitcom will be reuniting for 90s Con in Florida.
Oh, fun.
When is this? I'm going to look and see. It says next month, but I don't know that I don't see the actual date on here. So some of the people
That
will
would be a fun one to go to.
Candace Cameron Bure. Who else will be there? Dave Coulier will be there. And there's a bunch of other people, too. I'm trying to skim through this story, and I'm not doing a very good job. But I have it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over, I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Time now for the scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. This is interesting. I just have one little line here. It says, research shows that married people tend to drink less. I wonder why that is. Because they're not
Because you're not going out with
looking to
friends and
find
partying like you used to. I don't know.
Out on the prowl.
Right.
Yeah, I suppose. But then, I know some people who are married that drink more, too. So, balances out a little bit,
That's
I bet.
right.
So that's all I had on that. I'm sure there's more that we could talk about there, but we'll just move on before I get somebody mad. And the next internet buzzword could very well be the word unalived. And I'm not a fan of this word.
Unalived.
Unalived. UNALIVED. Recently, some visitors to Seattle's Museum of Pop Culture reported seeing something that surprised them. A placard on display in one of the exhibits described an iconic hometown hero's death in the following way. It said, Kurt Cobain unalived himself at 27.
Unalived.
Unalived is a common term on TikTok, first used as a way to get around censors on the app while discussing death, but it's since taken on a euphemistic meaning offline as a way to talk about death and especially suicide while attempting to avoid the subject's inherent discomfort. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you. It doesn't make it better. I think it draws more attention to it, honestly. When you're saying a weird word that doesn't really... Because now my brain is thinking twice as hard about...
Yeah, that's so bizarre.
What are we talking about again? So I understand where they're saying, well, I'm trying to get past the censor, so we're going to say that. But I don't know that it really does. I suppose it must, because that's the thing. But now they're saying that could be very much a new internet buzzword for 2024. I've been hearing that word for the last few years, so I don't think it's new. It's just whoever wrote the story finally saw it is apparently what happened. And I just want to say this as well. Don't unalive yourself. That's a bad idea. It's a horrible idea. You got people that love you. You got people that want you here. If you need someone to talk to, reach out. Talk to somebody. Talk to me. I'll talk to you. But again, I just wanted to make sure I said that when I talked about this word. I want to make sure people understand I'm not taking it lightly. I just think it's a weird way to say it. Scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit right now with Moon Unit Zappa, and she's got a new book called Earth to Moon. Moon, how are you doing?
I'm great. It's so exciting that people will get to read this book. I'm so amazed that I actually did it 4.5 years. No ghostwriter, all me.
I love that. And what was it that made you decide it's time for me to write this book? Was there some specific thing that happened that was kind of the trigger?
Yes, my mother left a horrible will and left Weasel and I out of the ability to have access to my father's intellectual property, and that sparked. I had to rethink every single aspect of growing up, who she was, why she did this, why the cruelty. And it's so funny because when I went back and reflected, I was like, oh, right, she was a bully the entire time. It was hiding in plain sight. And I took it as normal. And so the book really is me untangling that, the dysfunction there, and also just examining my father and just thinking, wow, he was gone 7 to 9 months out of every year. Did he even know this was going on? Yeah. And so it was a lot of reflection, and also surprisingly, I had even more empathy for Gail, because Frank was a big, he was a genius, but he also had a high libido with extracurricular activities, and as a daughter watching that, it sent a double message of being sad for Gail and feeling like girls don't don't really, they're disposable.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sad to hear that, but I'm excited that you get to tell the story. And there are probably a lot of people listening that are going, okay, I've heard of this family. Frank Zappa, in music had some very unique songs that were very different at the time and even still kind of different today. And I remember Valley Girl. I remember when that came out, it was so different than anything I'd ever seen before, ever heard before. And again, that was your dad. And what was your relationship like with him? Was it better than with your mom?
Oh, he was the love of my life. He was the funniest, most attentive, loving. He never raised his voice ever in anger. He was so reasonable. It was like having Jesus and Spock for a father, this combination, because he was extremely logical and rational. And he belonged to the world, and so I had to share him with absolutely everybody. And I craved his time and attention, and his humor. And I figured out early on that he really liked to work nonstop. And so I at 13, I slid a note under his door and said, "Hey, maybe we should work together." And he woke me up at a school night, and that's how that song happened. And what was a tender, goofy moment with just time with my father became this international beloved oddity, and my father had 20 years of work that he had already composed that wasn't getting that same kind of attention or airplay, radio airplay.
Absolutely. And again, for anybody that's just tuning in going, what are they talking about? Valley Girl was a song by Frank Zappa. We're talking to his daughter, Moon Unit Zappa, right now, and we're going to chat about your book. Let's talk the rest of the time about this book, because I want to make sure people get a chance to see this. You put a lot of time and effort into Earth to Moon, a memoir, and I'm reading that you started journaling when you were like 5 years old. Is that right?
Yeah, that was, nowadays, I guess people just hand their children iPads, but back when I was small, you would get a journal, blank pages, and you could write and draw in them, and that's what I did. I was essentially recording like a journalist what I was seeing around me, and again, when you grow up with a giant pink blow-up doll in the basement, and you're a little girl just wanting to play regular dolls with your family, I was cluing in that this is a different kind of a household. And when I finally got to school and I saw that people were having dinner together and having conversations, and then forget about it, the John Hughes movies, I was like, wait, parents can apologize? What is this? It was like science fiction to me. So
this is Bizarro World.
That was, yeah, exactly.
Well, Moon, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much. I hope people love the book and that it makes them laugh. And they can go to moonunit.com to order it if they haven't ordered it already.
Awesome. Again, the book is available right now. It's called Earth to Moon by Moon Unit Zappa. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
People are typically perceived as more attractive when they tilt their heads. Oh, your head's tilted right now. Did you do that on purpose, or is your head usually tilted?
I don't know.
You were just tilting your head.
My head
right
is
now.
always tilted in pictures, I've
Is it?
noticed. Yeah.
Huh. I have to start doing that because I'm not perceived as attractive. Ever. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A pound of potato chips costs 200 times more than a pound of potatoes. Wow.
Yeah.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Coffee beans are not beans. They're actually fruit pits. Good to know. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Non-dairy creamer is flammable. Yeah. Never even knew
Okay.
that. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Liechtenstein is the world's smallest country. It's also the world's largest manufacturer of false teeth. So, Liechtenstein, making teeth.
Liechtenstein.
Yeah, that take a licking and keep on chomping. I don't know. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way courtesy of mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi. 67% of us say we enjoy this treat in the summer, but only 10% eat it in the winter. What do you think it is?
I have no idea.
I think we have some in our refrigerator, our freezer right now. Popsicles.
Oh, okay.
Would those be officially, because that's a brand name, but ours are not that brand. They're something different. They're like healthy versions of that. So, yeah, and I hardly ever have those. The other day I saw them. I was like, oh, hey, I'm going to have one of those because I forgot we had them. That is your Mint Mobile question of the day. Comes your way courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. On Sunday, a man attempted to set a new world record for completing a marathon in stiletto heels.
Wow.
Curtis Hargrove, who is a seasoned marathon runner, took on a marathon, 26.2-mile race, wearing red high heels to raise money and awareness for those experiencing domestic abuse. I think that's cool. To beat the previous record, he had to finish the race in less than 5 hours and 13 minutes and 27 seconds. He said he'd have to keep up a nice and steady jog to clinch the record. In 2012, he walked 300 kilometers in red stilettos in support of the YWCA. I have a link to a video.
I think he just likes to wear red heels.
That could be. Maybe that's what it is. It's like, that's my color, man. I have a link to a video. I couldn't tell 100%, but it kind of looks to me like he did not make the attempt. It said he had a wardrobe malfunction, and one of the shoes like blew out while he was running. So
well, I'm sure they're probably not meant for running.
I was going to say, apparently stilettos were not meant for marathons. Who'd have thunk it? Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Time now for the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Part 2 of the Toronto Canadian National Exhibition. They got underway last week, and there's rides and there's entertainment, but there's also bizarre food. We talked about deep-fried pickle Oreos. We talked about deep-fried soft-shell crab on a stick. Now we're going to do the bottom half of this list. Mac and cheese popsicles. Huh? Yeah, mac and cheese popsicles. No, I'm not interested. Kool-Aid fried chicken, day-glow red, deep-fried, and generously topped on bold ventures to unfamiliar territory. But they say it is very, very good. So they like roll the fried chicken in Kool-Aid powder, and then they fry it, apparently. Cheeseburger spring rolls. So it's like a spring roll, but they put all the ingredients of a cheeseburger in there instead of,
that wouldn't be so
cabbage
bad.
and stuff. Spammy tots, featuring crisp, sushi rice tots splashed with soy sauce and topped with Spam fries.
Yuck.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to do that one. And then the last is wasabi ice cream. It's wasabi-flavored ice cream with crunchy orange sugar pearls. So, yeah, it's all really weird. It is the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today is from Carol Bryant, who says, "Love is a two-way street, constantly under construction." I agree with that, by the way. You should constantly be working on your marriage to make it better. My wife and I, we've been married now for almost 25 years.
Yeah,
Isn't that weird?
I know.
To think about that?
I know.
And we've constantly been working on our marriage. What that means is I have a lot of work to do, and she puts up with me, is what that means. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. And I've got a wonderful story right here. And there's so many good stories. I never know quite where to go with these because there's so many good ones. But a police officer's act of kindness restores hope for a boy with Down syndrome. Oh. I love this story. It comes from Taylor, Michigan. And Taylor police officer went above and beyond to help a young boy with Down syndrome after he lost his essential communication device. Clavis Warren, 7-year-old, who relies on an iPad to communicate, was left without his vital tool after a weekend trip to a local auto parts store. His mother, Chrissy, found herself in a tough spot. Says, we're struggling, like so many families. We can't just go out and replace the tablet. With few options left, she took to Facebook, hoping for a miracle. Little did she know that her plea would be answered in the most unexpected way. While scrolling through Facebook, Taylor police officer Jasper McCure came across Chrissy's post. Moved by the family's plight, he knew that he had to do something. He said, I contacted my coworkers on my shift. I asked them if they'd like to help out, and they were all more than willing to help out. For this officer, helping others is a way of life, and as a 6th member of his family to serve in law enforcement, his dedication to the community runs quite deep. He said, it's just second nature. Within a short amount of time, he and the fellow officers pooled their resources to buy a new iPad for this young man. The act of kindness left the Warren family overwhelmed with gratitude. It says, I'm still just in awe that they did this for my child. Just pure gratitude that there are kind people out there who see a kid that needs help and they spring into action.
Absolutely love it.
I think that's awesome. And these people who did this could have been anybody. They could have been in any line of work. They happen to be police officers, which for me makes it even cooler because so many times the only time we see police officers in the news is when there's something negative.
Yep.
So every time I see a story like this, I always want to make sure I share it because if something bad happened, that certainly would have been shared. So again, hats off to these guys and to many people who go above and beyond every single day. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.